Gina, uh, I am kind of in a place of like, what the hell right now? And part of the reason is because we've got news from Sparrow about the Gina Carano thing. It's interesting, and there's a lot to it. I wanted to explain a little bit deeper. And then we got a date for Skeleton Crew to drop. Now, I'll go through Skeleton Crew first. That show, all right, first off, I'm going to share this out, okay, to X. Okay, one more. Hey, Planet Musk. Hey, guys. Hey, Kim. So, Skeleton Crew. Well, December 3rd is when it's dropping. We got an article and a short interview with Jude Law about it. It's about these kids that get lost from their home planet. They've got to get back on all the adventures they go on. In the aftermath, hey Nanya, in the aftermath of the Death Star being blown up, and apparently there's a lot of really great Easter eggs. I would expect cameos from other characters. Zeb, maybe Ahsoka, maybe Luke, maybe Leia, maybe Han Solo. We'll see how far. We'll see where John is on that. Hey, Cross, how you doing? Yeah, I think Cross is right. So this sounds like a good show. Okay, this sounds like a really good show, and when you've got the attempted whisper campaign by that pile of garbage, Jason Ward, Bedpan Bulletin, who are merely just repeating what Pablo Hidalgo told them to repeat. It's one of those things where you can kind of go, can we get somebody else to chime in before we believe you? Like, somebody who's actually seen footage. And the fact that these are two Kennedy supporting weirdos that these people who've been so divisive over the sequel trilogy, and the fact that Ward shoved Raylo in our faces because he wanted to make big marks with the teenage girls he was hitting on. Just fucking look. You suddenly find out. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Cameron Pasha is written a really good script about Marilyn Monroe and her first husband. It's a short film. All right, he wants to produce it. He wants to direct it. And you would not believe the shit he's had to endure from Marilyn Monroe fans who think she was some sort of who all think she was abused by her first husband, and she wasn't. Okay, she was abused by Joe DiMaggio. She was abused by Arthur Miller. She was abused by a lot of men, but not her husband, not her first husband. And it's the first guy that she ran into was a sleazy photographer from Hungary. And she was still married to Jim when she basically said, I need to go on a photography trip with this guy. It was on Christmas, but he let her go, which is stupid. And when I look at some of the people on the left of this, the ones that are pushing woke ideology, Raylo, etc., they're fucking creepy. They're disgusting, deplorable freaks, all right, weirdos. And It's really fascinating that Hollywood has always attracted people like Jason Ward, always attracted people like Harvey Weinstein. There's not a lick of difference, but Harvey, world famous producer and a studio mogul, and Jason Ward's just an internet hitman. But still, the dangling out little favors that they can put out there to get girls, all right, pretty disgusting. That's what happened to Maryland. And when I look at the Raylo business, that was going on. Okay, that was going on. Okay, it's gross. All right, you know, and the to me, the guy can't be. Oh yeah, Peter's right. The guy cannot be trusted, even if he was right on a few things, because of the nefarious and scummy dealings he had with young girls. It's just fucking disgusting and wrong. Okay, so, but you've got St. Valerie financials from the failed travel agents little group cabal, you know, agreeing with them. And it's like, look, here's the deal. I know a lot about what went on. I know things I can't talk about with concerning Jason Ward. I was in a chat on the for a Star Wars fan, 1997 or 97 Bravo, who was a retired Army police officer and investigator, talking to one of Ward's paramours or whatever she was. She's very defensive and got really bad when we asked her how old she was when he supposedly hit on her, and she wouldn't tell us. She was a minor. We know that. But I also know other things. I told Bravo I can't tell you what I know. I investigated it. Okay. If you fuck with me long enough, I will pay money out there to find out more about. The more you know about your opponent, the easier they are to put brush to the side. Okay. You gotta study them. And that's what I did. So when I found out the Whisper campaign was coming from him, which, you know, the Redditors were saying basically that Pablo Hidalgo is the one that leaks all that shit to Ward. So, you know, is it true? I don't know. But if you think about it, it sure makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, there you go. So anyway, I wouldn't believe a word that the guy said. All right. Especially when it's such a different take on the show. Sounds like a different take from the rest of them. All right, and it's a way different take from the Trashlight, and it's like, and I think the reason why they came out and had Jude Law talk to people about it is because of the shit that was going on from inside Lucasfilm, trying to shoot this thing before they had a chance, and sit there and say what they want. That's what it looks like to us. All right, so let's go on. Let's go to Gina. So Gina in the Hollywood Reporter basically said she wants Pedro Pascal, Jon Favreau, Bob Chapek, not Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, etc., to testify at her lawsuit trial. Not shocked. Interesting that Iger's not included. Iger wouldn't be included. Iger wasn't CEO at the time. All right. And what Sparrow said to Cameron was that the lawyers for Lucasfilm, and you can imagine who they are, and for Disney, Daniel Petruccelli, are telling Iger that they can win. I think Iger's in a state of right now because of what's going on with the Democrat Party. Okay, first off, don't believe anything the press says. There are a lot of Democrats who are pissed off that they woke up one morning, they had their nominee, it was Joe, the demented one, Biden. Okay, next morning they wake up, Joe puts a tweet out there, an ex post out there saying he was no longer running for president, and he supported Kamala. Here's the deal, all right? They had a dump Kamala campaign before they had a dump Joe Biden campaign because they didn't want her. For somehow, some way, she ended up being the vice presidential pick. Okay, not a good one. All right, you get in the Wayback Machine. She left the primary race in 2020 before the voting started in 2020 for the Democrat primary. All right. All right. So what can be surmised is there could be a fight at the convention, and it could be a free-for-all. The problem that the Democrats have is Kamala is the only person who can access all that money. And let me remind you guys, the money that they said that she hauled in, she didn't. That was money donors were holding back until Joe was gone. Okay. All the fake support for her, it is exactly what you would think it is. It's fake support. So I want you guys to understand that. And like BLM and several other really radical Democrat groups are very much against Kamala. I think Joe screwed Obama over because Obama hates Kamala. Obama hates her. Now he can say, I endorsed her. It's like Mitt Romney suddenly turning around and saying, I endorsed Donald Trump. Oh, my take on it was they could control him, and he really wasn't president anyway. In my opinion, after looking at everything, it looked to me like Biden was being controlled by Obama, and really there wasn't a president. I mean, God, the guy shit his pants meeting Francis I. You know, anyway, and Kamala's a moron. So, you got Iger going, I could be vice president. Now, he's not going to be vice president. He's, Democrat National Conventions can be very interesting. It's to me because look, I'll give it to you in a nutshell. These radical Democrat groups are like, we did not cast a vote for her. You picked her. It is not a democratically run primary if she didn't run. Okay? We didn't vote for her. So you can expect some fireworks. I'm not going to say it's going to be the 1968 Democrat National Convention. It is in Chicago. That's where that happened. But it could get ugly. I mean, I can see Antifa rioting. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. So the feeling at Lucasfilm is Iger hasn't wanted to settle with Gina because the lawyers are telling him they can win, and he's being distracted by this chaos. This is my thing. This is what I think. Go along with me here. Iger knows what's in those emails that Gina has. trust me, he probably has copies of them. He knows what discovery and depositions will do to Kennedy, to Carrie Beck, to Pablo and the rest of that garbage. Leslie Headland, she's the alleged culprit behind the GoFundMe account that embarrassed Gina. Look, Kennedy doesn't really have to say directly, will someone not rid me of this horrible woman? All right? She didn't have to say it directly. They took marching orders from something she did. All right? And what else? Jon Favreau can get up there and say, Gina Carano isn't even the target of all these shenanigans. I am. He's not going to say that, but there you go. Gina was a weak link in the chain, they thought. All right. Back in 2022, one woke up at 2 a.m. finding out from that fucking prick, fat fuck French guy from Deadline posted that article about Gina not coming back to Lucasfilm. And then Pablo, hours before that, put an evil little smiley face on his account and tweeted it out there. This was before Elon Musk bought Twitter X. All right. And here's the deal. They thought they could get away with it. And all of a sudden, one day they wake up, Elon Musk buys Twitter, calls it X, then says, I will pay for the law, the lawyer fees for anybody who's been fired for posting something legitimate discourse on X. Gina said, I think I might fit that. Elon had his people get a hold of her. Now we have a lawsuit. And from what we gathered, at least one of the pieces of evidence that Gina has is a nuclear bomb. All right. Now, my thing is, Iger knows all that. Kennedy is still allegedly president of Lucasfilm. What if Iger decided not to settle till the evidence is put in to the system? What if? He knows it will destroy her. And if you guys remember, if you're first off, if Cross is still here, can you put a link to Cameron's Patreon? Cameron got a message from Sparrow and basically posted that there was a top secret squirrel meeting at Disney, and the principals were Bob Iger, probably Dana Walden and Alan Bergman, several lawyers, thank you, and Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas. And nothing was allowed to come out except for a little bit of stuff. But it's all been kept hush hush. One of the things that did come out was Iger wanted Kennedy and Headland destroyed. Now, what would embarrass Frau Kennedy to the point where she can never show her face in Hollywood again? That email, whatever's in it. Okay, that email. And if it goes to discovery without any word of settlement, because Petrocelli and the rest of these foam domes think that they have a chance. And look, I looked up that law firm that Elon hired. They have lawyers there that argued cases and won in front of the Supreme Court. Okay, A DC lawyer isn't some podunk douchebag from Los Angeles. All right. These are nationally known, experienced Beltway great white sharks. They're orcas. Okay. They don't take prisoners. All right. And the idea that Petrocelli thinks he's got a chance is kind of like, that's sweet. You know? I could sound just like War Hamster right now. You know, oh, pumpkin, are you sad? You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, they're being ridiculous. I would say you got to settle with her right now. If you don't, we're dead. And I would tell Kennedy, send a memo or an email or something to Bob and say, we need to settle this. This is going to be embarrassing. This is going to hurt both Disney and Lucasfilm. See how Bob responds, all right? Bob could say, sure, Cappy, we'll settle, but you're leaving, all right? You know, and see, that's the thing, is you're kind of like going, why are they doing this? And then you think, oh, okay, I know why. I know why. So anyway, what I think is it's a combination of Iger seeing his dream of seeing Kennedy destroyed happening with this trial. You know, and, you know, I'm going to tell you this. If Leslie Headland was the leader of the merry band of junior high school students, you know, blowing farts in each other's faces, she's toast. That is so unprofessional what they did to Gina. Okay, so that's all I want to talk about. Don't listen to the people who are saying stupid shit about Skeleton Crew. And don't listen, don't just sit back and watch what goes on with Gina's trial, all right? As Cameron said, because he knows more than he is telling people, by the way. I know he does. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen between now and December. And it's not just the presidential election. It's a lot of stuff going on with Lucasfilm. All right. And they can't kick the can down the road and wait for, you know, Bob to decide to settle with Gina. I do think for his aspirations, he should. They've done it before, where a guy just started working with on a Disney project, and he was still suing them. So it happens. We just have to see. Anyway, I gotta go. I've only been on for 23 minutes, but I gotta get the kitchen straightened up. You guys all have a good day, and I'll see you around the galaxy.